When Julie Chen Moonves reflects on her years at the talk, there's a certain weight in her words, a mix of nostalgia, candor, and the subtle authority of someone who helped shape the show into the cultural staple it once was. The longtime host, who left abruptly in 2018, recently shared her perspective on how the talk shifted in tone after her exit. And according to her, the show's decision to avoid topical issues wasn't just a pivot, it was, in her words, tone deaf. Her remarks have reignited discussions among fans and critics alike about the show's legacy, its struggles in later years, and the delicate balance daytime talk shows must strike between comfort and confrontation. This is the story of how the talk was born, how Julie Chen Moonves became its face, and why she believes her departure marked the beginning of a very different show. The birth of the talk, daytime's new sisterhood. Back in 2010, CBS unveiled a brand new concept. The talk wasn't meant to be just another daytime show with celebrity interviews and cooking segments. Instead, it was pitched as a space where women from different backgrounds could gather at a round table and, like a modern-day coffee klatch, talk about what mattered to them, to moms, to families, and to America. Julie Chen Moonves, at the time already a familiar face thanks to her work on the early show and as the host of Big Brother, was positioned as the anchor of the group. Alongside co-hosts like Sharon Osbourne, Sarah Gilbert, Leah Remini, Holly Robinson-Peete, and Marissa Jarrett-Winokur, she brought a mix of journalistic credibility, warmth, and authority. The show quickly struck a chord with viewers. It wasn't as flashy or celebrity-driven as The View, but it had heart. It felt relatable, like watching friends chat in your living room. And crucially, it didn't shy away from addressing the news of the day, sometimes messy, sometimes divisive, but always real. Julie Chen Moonves, the journalist at the table. Julie's presence was different from her co-hosts. While others leaned into entertainment and humor, Julie had the grounding of a seasoned journalist. She could pivot from discussing parenting challenges to breaking down the nuances of a political scandal, all with a calm, steady demeanor. For Julie, that balance was essential. In her recent comments, she emphasized that the talk wasn't meant to exist in a bubble. People turn on the TV because they want to feel connected, she explained. If something big is happening in the world and we don't acknowledge it, we're failing our audience. We're pretending life is only about fluff, and that's not reality. Her philosophy helped give the show its early identity, accessible but not trivial. The turning point, Julie's exit. In September 2018, Julie Chen Moonves announced she was leaving the talk. The decision came amid a storm of controversy surrounding her husband, Leslie Moonves, who stepped down as chairman and CEO of CBS after multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Julie stood by her husband but admitted she needed to focus on her family. Her departure was abrupt. Fans who had grown used to her steady presence felt the void instantly. Without Julie, the talk lost not only its moderator but also the person who, in many ways, set the tone for the entire table. The network tried to adapt by reshuffling hosts and experimenting with new dynamics, but according to Julie, something fundamental changed. A different show. Julie has since shared her perspective on the show's post-exit trajectory. When I left, it became a different show, she said candidly. That's not necessarily bad, it's just different. But when they chose to avoid topical issues altogether, I thought that was tone deaf. For her, the heart of the talk was always in its willingness to tackle tough subjects. Whether it was politics, social justice, or global crises, Julie believed viewers respected the hosts more when they engaged with the real world. The audience is smarter than we sometimes give them credit for, she explained. They don't just want fluff. They want to know that the people they watch every day live in the same world they do, with the same fears, frustrations, and questions. By stepping back from topical debates, Julie felt the show risked becoming irrelevant. Daytime TV's great balancing act. Julie's critique taps into a bigger conversation about daytime television. For decades, shows like The View, The Talk, Live with Kelly and Mark, and The Kelly Clarkson Show have walked a fine line between entertainment and engagement. On one hand, viewers tune in for escapism. They want cooking tips, celebrity interviews, and laughs. On the other hand, these shows have also become spaces where cultural and political conversations unfold in real time. The View leaned into that identity, often sparking fiery debates that generated headlines for days. The Talk, under Julie's moderation, took a gentler approach but still acknowledged the world outside its studio walls. When that balance shifted, many fans noticed. It felt safer, but it also felt emptier, one longtime viewer shared on social media. I used to watch because I felt like the hosts were in it with us. After Julie left, it felt like they were in their own little bubble. The fallout and decline. It wasn't just perception. After Julie's exit, the talk struggled with ratings and a revolving door of hosts. Sharon Osbourne's dramatic departure in 2021, following a heated on-air argument about race and accountability, further destabilized the show. Other co-hosts came and went, and while the format remained, the magic seemed harder to capture. Critics noted that without a clear leader, someone who could ground the conversation while still keeping it accessible, the show felt directionless. Julie's perspective on leadership. Chen Moonves has always been clear about what makes a talk show successful: strong leadership at the table. You need a moderator who understands how to move the conversation forward, when to step in, when to pull back, and how to keep everyone on track, she explained. Without that, it becomes chaos, or worse, it becomes irrelevant. Her comments aren't just about the talk. They reflect a broader truth about television. Viewers crave authenticity, but they also want guidance. Someone has to steer the ship. Reinvention versus authenticity. Some argue that the talk's pivot away from topical issues was an attempt to differentiate itself from The View, which has cornered the market on fiery political debates. But Julie sees it differently. You can reinvent yourself, but you can't lose your authenticity, she said. Our authenticity was that we were women sitting at a table, talking about life. Life isn't just fluff. Life is messy, complicated, heartbreaking, and beautiful. That's what people related to. In her view, avoiding topical issues wasn't reinvention, it was erasure. Julie's new chapter. Since leaving the talk, Chen Moonves has shifted her focus to her family, her faith, and her continuing role as host of Big Brother. She's also opened up about her personal journey, including her spiritual awakening, which she credits with giving her peace during turbulent times. She doesn't harbor resentment toward the talk or its current hosts, but she is candid about what she sees as missed opportunities. I think every show has to figure out what it wants to be, she reflected. For me, authenticity will always matter most. The legacy of the talk. As the talk continues to air, its legacy is still being written. For some, it will always be remembered as the softer, friendlier alternative to The View. For others, it was a refreshing space where real women talked about real issues in a way that felt approachable. And for Chen Moonves, it was a labor of love, a place where she could merge her journalistic instincts with her natural warmth, offering viewers both comfort and connection. Her belief that the show lost something essential after her departure speaks to the delicate balance every talk show faces: how to stay relevant without becoming divisive, and how to stay true without becoming stale. Why Julie's words still matter. Chen Moonves may no longer sit at the talks table, but her voice continues to resonate in the broader conversation about media and authenticity. Her critique isn't just about one show, it's about the evolving role of television in an age when audiences are hungrier than ever for connection, honesty, and courage. When she says avoiding topical issues is tone deaf, she's challenging not just her former show, but all of daytime TV. Are these shows willing to meet their audiences where they really are, or are they content to stay safe in a bubble of lighthearted escapism? Final thoughts. Chen Moonves' reflections on the talk reveal more than just behind-the-scenes drama. They illuminate the soul of daytime television, its power to comfort, its responsibility to engage, and its constant struggle to adapt without losing its heart. Her words remind us that authenticity is not optional, it's essential. And while the talk may never be the same show it was with Julie at the table, her legacy ensures that the conversation about what daytime TV can and should be is far from over.